Fuck off. Man.
Why itu saja Martin?
And now a word from our sponsor, Gerry's Wholesale Sausage Emporium. Are retail hot dog prices making you crazy? Come on down to Gerry's for all your discount dog needs.
Skibbity, 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 spin. Stop! Hammer time!
God damn, I wish you lost that one.
What's the matter with hammer time? The
No,
hammer
it's not the hammer time. It's the skibbity,
The week
skibbity,
needs to
skibbity.
start. Yeah, the week needs to start gay, Martin. So
So
You can be gay and not creepy.
I'm trying to introduce the show, and people just keep talking like we're not doing a show.
And we will keep on.
You guys go ahead and introduce the show. I don't feel like doing
Welcome,
it
everybody. This is Pop Culture Minesfield.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, it's fucking morning. On Monday. I hurt. Emmanuel is here from France.
Somebody's
Not
extra
sure.
grumpy today.
I am not sure where they live in France, what town or village or city. Snorty is here. Hello, Snorty. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Gary.
And that's it. I'm done.
We're out. Hasta la vista. Peace.
Oh, man.
Come on, Gary. You got any coffee? Monster? Anything? What you got?
I just had my first sip.
Okay. That'll do it. That's got caffeine. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's actually tea. I keep my bottles, wash them out, and reuse them.
Cool.
Because you can't really do this during the show.
Right. Look kind of hick when you do that, don't you?
Well, you got to throw it over the shoulder and drink it like moonshine.
Yeah. Then we got to outfit you with a banjo, put you on the front porch, that kind of knock some teeth out. Yeah.
What are you, the $6 million man? No.
Every time somebody says banjo, I go back to Deliverance.
Scary.
You had to go there. You had to go.
Dude.
Boy, you got a pretty mouth.
That movie's scary. I'm sorry. It is.
You got a pretty mouth.
You got a pretty mouth.
Snorty, you are forbidden to go to bed. You have to.
That Beatty did so many fucking great movies.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, Chris.
He hated when people would remind him of that film and that fucking scene. Squeal.
Damn it. My favorite scene he ever did was as the corporate CEO in Network. You will atone. Am I getting through to you?
He's been in a lot of good films, man. He was also the network head of the radio station in the movie The Radioland Murders, which I thought was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So one of those odd, off-the-wall George Lucas produced films.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that movie, but most people don't know that movie. It's got Brian Benben in it. What a great cast. It's about the unbeknownst to them, the dying days of radio, right before TV took over. And it was its heyday. They thought, this will go on for forever. No, it won't.
No. Well, it's still around. It's still around. I listened.
Not that one, no.
No, not at all. But it used to be
it evolved
form of
into
entertainment
talk radio.
Yeah.
It evolved into music.
Mm-hmm.
And what used to be radio became television.
Yep.
All the major networks, well, the first major networks, ABC, NBC, and CBS, all started as radio stations, doing their radio entertainment. Like they had shows like that would later become TV. Gunsmoke started on the radio.
Wasn't Dark Shadows a radio show before it got on television? Yeah.
No.
I thought it was.
No, it's a soap opera.
Okay.
But it started as a soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
But they did a lot of other stuff on radio, like The Shadow. I thought that's where you were going. The Shadow started as a radio program. In fact, I have broken down and started watching when I go to bed, and I like waking up to it in continuous cycle, anywhere between 13 to 15 episode serials from the old days before television.
Yeah, there's a lot of YouTube channels that have that kind of stuff. They're playing
Captain Marvel, stuff. AKA Shazam, The Shadow. I have Captain America. I have Batman. I have one of my favorites, the Green Hornet. But the thing that always hurts me when I watch it is they did such a better job in the 60s with the Green Hornet than they did, because Key Luke just, he's hardly there. It's like, stop the car, start the car, turn off the engine, call the police. That's all Key Luke would do. And it was just really fucking annoying. He's a fucking rocket scientist working with, Britt Reed. And the guy barely uses him. They don't show him doing any martial arts. They got Key Luke, a guy who could do martial arts. And instead of being Chinese, like he was, he played a Korean. And I don't know, man. To Hollywood in the day, they just, like, all Asians were mix and match.
Yeah.
They didn't care if there was Asia major, Asia minor. They're all interchangeable. It's like, whatever, fuckheads. Even I was aware of that as a kid. I learned pretty quickly the physical difference between Chinese and Japanese people. Mephisto, buddy. Man, you know what is, I got to tell you, it kind of reminds me of when I'm in the Army and the ground war broke, and my family, when I was visiting my family, were glued to CNN.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was too, man. You kidding me? You talking about Desert Storm?
I'm doing it now. I didn't do it then because I was just like, yeah, I'm going to be going. And so I just need to keep my phone handy. Because I needed to stay close to the phone because Alicia and I might get called up at any second. And we were put on alert. And it's like, let's get going. Let's get our shit, get our gear squared away. And you had to. But I didn't really care to watch CNN news. Now it's like I'm glued to that one I shared with you, Mephisto, that link. That guy, he doesn't throw opinion into anything. He just gives you the news and information. He gets those live feeds, and just watching what's happening over there in Haifa, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem. That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Middle of the fucking night here. Middle of the night there, fucking lights up in the air. It's like, how is that a fucking life? That's like if every day in Missouri there were like hundreds of tornadoes.
Yeah.
That's what that's like. Every day. That's insane. But we love Mephisto. He's a dear friend.
Yeah, you stay safe, brother.
Well, they did that all the time too, Snort. Yeah. I did not know this until I was, I think 12 or 13. No, I was 12. I remember my dad, because they did a new Charlie Chan made-for-TV movie with, I forget his name, from Wild Wild West, that played West's partner, that did the makeup and shit, and was a master of disguise. And my dad played, and I thought that was really weird. Why is he playing Charlie Chan? And my dad looked at me and he's like, son, every Charlie Chan was white. And I was like, what? What about Olin Ray? He was Chinese, wasn't he? No.
So
every Charlie Chan was white. And that kind of made me angry as a kid. That not for yelling racist, but that I felt like it was a dirty trick to make you like a Chinese character like that, and they couldn't even bother to have him be Chinese. Right. And it's kind of was a goal of mine as a kid I want to make movies, and I'm going to make the first real Chinese Charlie Chan. And
were you talking about Artemis Gordon on?
Yeah, the guy that played Artemis Gordon. Yeah,
Ross Martin.
Ross Martin.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you have not seen anything until you see him play a fucking villain.
Yeah, I imagine he'd be good at it.
He was in a little movie with Glenn Ford, and what is her name? Give me a second. It's Glenn Ford and Lee Remick from The Omen. And it was called Experiment in Terror. And he plays the asthmatic kidnapper of this lady's little either daughter or sister, I can't remember. But and he's wheezing into the phone. In fact, if you ever see the movie High Anxiety,
yeah,
you ever see the scene where you have that killer on the phone, payphone? He's playing the Ross Martin character from Experiment in Terror. There are so many, in fact, if you watch that movie, High Anxiety, there are so many nods to the thrillers of yesteryear, there's even a huge nod to the film that Anima doesn't like, but I love, North by Northwest in it. It's just crazy how much Hitchcock was in there, but not just
supposed to be of Hitchcock, wasn't it?
Well, it was a parody of Hitchcock's work, but also all the other great, what do you call it? Psychological thrillers from the period.
Gotcha.
And but Experiment in Terror is like one of my favorite films as a kid. And it actually came out before I was born, 2 years. A year and a half before I was even a glint in my daddy's eye. And but I grew up loving those movies. I just you could put me in front of a TV and put an old movie on, I'd fucking just be happy as a lark. I was one of those weird kids. Not just like kid shows. I would watch fucking movies as a kid. I was engrossed in watching films. So, but anyway, today we're going to be talking about a film called Mosul, and it is about the final battle, at least so far, for the city. I wrote a screenplay with Dale Dye and my team, which included John Del Vecchio, Doug Esposito, Tom Waltz from IDW. We were all business partners on a venture of making a story that I created called City of Fire, which was the telling of the first battle for Mosul that took place in June of 2004. And I wrote pretty much not a sit rep, because I based it off of the sit rep of the day of everything that went down. There's a lot of comedy in it. There's a lot of action. And when I say comedy, I mean military comedy, like grabastic comedy. Because what's funny is the shit you fucking say when shit's going down. As shit's happening in the military, guys are so fucking grabastic with their humor. And I had a lot of that in there. It was all based on real shit. I think one of the best moments in there really did happen that I wrote. And I got to hang out with a lot of the guys that fought in that battle and became friends with guys like Colby Bazell, who went in to be a foreign journalist for many magazines, including Hustler. And Colby was a gutsy fucking machine gunner in that unit that day. And he was with 2nd Division. And they were in the 72nd Stryker Brigade. That's how they were transported from scene to scene. And they were also given the nickname the Ghosts of Samara, because those fucking strikers would show up at your fucking front doorstep and you didn't hear them. There was no warning. They would just show up. They'd fucking breach your, these fucking bad guys' little hovels that they were hiding in. I saw the episode of Hawaii Five-0 from the 60s. The guest character was supposed to be Chinese, but was played by a Caucasian. The show was filmed in Hawaii. I know, right? Beyond the Polynesians, you had actual Chinese and Japanese living there, and they got a white guy.
Yeah,
I understand it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to mention this another example to you. I'm a big fan of the Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, and there's a scene in that movie where they're on one of their first dates, and Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's is playing an Oriental guy that's bitching at the girl for waking
Japanese,
him up.
Yeah.
And it just offends the shit out of Bruce, and they leave. And I mean that there's many examples, but I was just going to.
Well, that character in particular was a caricature.
Yep.
And that's why it's kind of great movie.
Yep.
Not a great moment.
Yeah.
But it's fucking ridiculous, like how they would do that. But we talked about this the other day with the John Wayne film, The Searchers, because I said if they had American Indian actors when they made that film that were established in Hollywood, they probably would have used them. But you just didn't have that early on. You got them. You had Silver Hills that played Tonto, and I just forgot his name. That oh shit, I gotta look it up real quick.
I'll look it up for you. Just tell me what it is.
No, it's Daniel Boone TV series. Before I even found it, what's his name? Parker. His last name was Parker that was on the show. Oh, help me out here. Why am I having so much trouble? He's the guy I was telling you guys about that was on Johnny Carson and had the longest laugh in television history.
No.
Well, maybe it was not that one. Might have been the follow-up series. Davy Crockett. I think it was. Same actor that played Daniel Boone played Davy Crockett. And one was by Disney, and I can't remember who did the other one. I'm trying to find. No, it was first. So it was Daniel Boone.
When you say Disney and Daniel Boone, I've got a face with no name stuck in my head.
Yep, and the song.
Right.
Yeah, Ed Ames. Ed Ames was his name. Not Parker. Ed Ames was American.
Parker, yeah.
And he was on Daniel.
I like the sound of that. Ed Ames was his name. You can make a song with that.
And he was really good with tomahawks. And he didn't throw it the way you see him a lot of time with the axe part aimed forward. He threw it with the axe part aimed backward. And when it landed, it hit the male silhouette right in the crotch with the handle stuck up in the air. And it led to the longest laugh in television history. Because Johnny Carson milked it. Not the penis. He milked the laugh.
Coming.
And Gary's got to make it weird. Yeah.
Always. I love the footage in this film because it really does a good job of showing Mosul. And I really got to be honest with you. I don't know how much of this is real and how much of it was CG. The movie was made in 2019. It was shown overseas at the Cannes Film Festival, and people go. In fact, if you go and look up in trivia, it says the first ever Arabic language movie with Iraqi dialect produced by Netflix. That's a lie.
I mean,
Netflix didn't produce this fucking movie.
They just distributed.
They bought it after the Cannes Film Festival and then slapped their name on it. This is back before they bought their studio. This is when they were just slapping their fucking logo on there. And I thought this was an easy buy for them. Like, fuck yeah, pay for this. It's written by a very good writer, Matthew Michael Carnahan. He's the same guy who did The Kingdom that we just talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
Same writer, and he directed this. He also did a piece of shit movie called Lions for Lambs, which was just fucking dumb. We're going to make an anti-war film. No, a good anti-war film is a war film that's just realistic. And it will terrify you to not romanticize too much about warfare. So this movie opens right in the thick of it. You have these cops that have traveled to the wrong side of town. They've gone out of their, what they would refer to as their green zone, in order to, arrest, detain, and bring back some Daesh fighters who are dealing drugs as well as other things. And and they're fucking overwhelmed. And they're in this little coffee shop, which are all over the fucking place in Iraq. And they're in there, and they're cornered. They're getting overpowered. His uncle, who is his leading officer, is laying there wounded, mortally wounded in the gut. And he's trying to tell him, don't let them capture you. Don't let them take these prisoners back and all that shit. And then there's this guy right here who's, sort of, I guess, his uncle's partner. This kid is like 21 years old. Yes, he's of war age, but he's still a kid. He's very inexperienced. He's never dealt with this. And he's fighting tooth and nail. And he's shooting guys. And my favorite moment is when a grenade lands between him and his uncle. He fucking grabs that thing and throws it right back at him and explodes immediately, killing the Daesh in the doorway. Yeah, milk that pee-pee. What the fuck are you talking about?
You opened the door, buddy. You opened the door.
You live with the consequences now.
All right. So then you see them get their ass saved by SWAT. And of course, I immediately wanted to hear the theme song. And
right.
I was very, very disappointed when I didn't hear the SWAT theme. And he goes, "We're arresting people again?" And he's kind of confused by what's going on here. Like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Well, he's also confused because they thought the SWAT team was dead, but only half of them died.
No. The SWAT team is confused with the action of the police because they say, "Why are you
on this side of the? Why are you on this side of the city? This is the wrong side."
They are also surprised to see SWAT team alive because they were lost to them.
Because they've been staying outside communication. You find out later why. But what's important here, and I love this guy. This guy's a really good actor right here.
Yeah.
The intensity of this guy's eyes. I want to point out that the kid is Kurdish. And a lot of people don't know this, is that Mosul sits right next to Kurdistan. And so on the Kurdish side of the border, that's where a lot of the fighting was really getting thick, because Kurdistan, they're not just Arabs. Muslim Arabs. They're Christian Arabs there, which is why Turkey has such a problem with the Kurds.
The Kurds, yeah. You've heard that term a lot. Mm-hmm.
And so the kid is Kurdish. And I like that they did that, because I want to remind people, when we did City of Fire, Kurdistan was going to produce our film. But when things got ugly again, it fell through. Not by anybody's fault. It's just simply things got ugly, brutal over there again. And they had to refocus all their energies and monies towards that fight. And that was again with Turkey at the time. So I love this cast. You have that guy there in the background who is, the cop that was in on the arrest. And you're going to find out later that this poor guy has a family. And so Daesh does that. They use your family against you, which in the end is really one of the biggest themes of this movie, but you're not aware of it until the end. The importance that Daesh and these guys' families.
Did you explain who Daesh is? Because not everybody
I
knows that.
explained that. I explained it the other day, but I'll say it again. Daesh is the one that people like to call ISIS. I don't like that because it confuses people with Almighty ISIS, the goddess superhero. And I prefer ISIL, but Daesh is the name that they gave him over there, and they hate them. And what's even worse is a lot of the Muslim Arabs hate them because they consider them infidels. They consider them filthy, dirty people, and perverting Islam to their own, power, their greed for power and control. And they do nothing but read smut. And they show that in the film where they're cleaning up that room. And there's all these filthy magazines, porn magazines.
Did they find a bunch of porn in what's his name's place when they got him?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The guy that masterminded 9/11. I think they found a lot of that stuff with him too.
They found him in a lot of those places.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, because of the courage this kid shows, and he's not on the list, because they have a list.
Oh God, yeah, that is.
Their list of names. He says, "What's your name?" And he goes, he doesn't want to give it to him at first. He's scared. Who are
because
you?
he has a very common name, so chances are that somebody with the same name is on that list.
And it leads to him finding that name, and he says, "And how old are you?" And he says, "I'm 21." And so you see him on his finger doing math. You're okay. You're not the one on the list. And I don't know. I like this character right here. He's such a cool character. And he's sort of a father character to the young man.
In fact, he refers to his troop as sons, and they refer to him as father.
Yeah.
And I like how he shuts the one dude down who has a problem with the kid being Kurdish. He just shuts him down. So what? He's a good kid. He's with us now.
And there's this animosity between them sometimes, which is why Saddam Hussein killed so many Kurds. They really hated him. Ba'athist in particular despised the Kurds. But anyway, so he is looking at this kid, really looking at him, and he says, "You're good in a fight. You want to join us?" And he's like, "Can I just do that?" So they take him outside the door. There he is. He's doing the math right now, making sure you're not my guy. Okay, you're not the guy on the list. And takes him outside, makes him take his shirt off and vest off, and they give him a new gear and a fucking hat that says SWAT on it. Yeah, every single time you say the word SWAT, you should hear Quincy Jones' theme.
Right.
Great theme. Also, that kid is really green because he doesn't even have an ID yet. He's been with the police for 2 months. So
2 months. 2 months. He goes, "Where's your ID?" "I've only been a cop for 2 months. I don't have my ID yet." This guy gets pissed because he says, "Are you married?" He goes, "No, I'm not married. I wouldn't be here if I was married." The guy says, "What did you say?" And then you understand later why he gets angry about that.
And the kid understands later. because he's just standing there silent.
Hey, 11 Enough. What's up, brother?
Hi, Alpha.
Now, 11 Enough is
you
so
have,
I'm going to
you
go.
have. Go.
No.
Okay, 11. You got to see this movie for real.
Oh, but he's been to Mosul. He doesn't have to watch this movie. Like I said, the first battle is the one that I wrote the screenplay for with Dale Dye, called City of Fire, that talked about 2nd Division's with the 72nd Stryker Brigade. They were an experimental brigade. They did not want the press knowing about strikers early on because they weren't sure if it would be a success. And the 72nd was the first group, and they were nicknamed the Ghosts of Samara because they would just show up at people's doorsteps in the middle of the night quietly. And that led to June 24th of 2004, the first battle for Mosul. And which technically, our story takes place in one day because that was the major part of that battle, taking back the mosque and the police station after those 500-pound car bombs were set off throughout the country. Everybody went into lockdown. The only group that went out that day was those guys, no strikers. And it's a hell of a battle. But Mosul was sort of at the center of a lot of stuff over there. And the fight lasted on, and eventually that other group, better known, they have the Punisher shield as their patch. I can't remember their group name. They became more famous. All the YouTube videos of going into, kicking in doors and shit. And it was cool shit, but they weren't the first ones there. The unknown guys of the 72nd were the ones that were there first, kicking in doors. And Mosul battles lasted all the way through the fall. But I remember one of the things they did at one point to quiet things down was to order an evacuation of the city. And they would capture anybody leaving the city that was of a male of military age that wasn't married. It was just basically, yeah, you're an insurgent. Because men of combat age that weren't married were fucking combat guys. And I'm going to point out too in this film that although this is full of guts and grit with the shit these guys go through, they are not very well trained. They end up with a friendly fire incident because of it, and a crappy grenade throw, even though pretty much like some of the most effective guys I ever met weren't always perfect with grenades.
But that grenade sucked. I mean, what are you doing? Video or what?
Yeah, where are you looking? Where are you aiming to throw that grenade? Not even close to where it was supposed to go, dude.
Right back.
But they get a friendly fire incident where he shoots a guy, kills a guy, one of his own teammates, shoots him in the back because they're not paying attention. It's called friendly fire.
I know.
It doesn't mean it is friendly, but it's just man. You check your sectors, and you train with each other to where you always know where each other is, and that's why there's, not in the gay way, but there's a lot of touching. So you know where everybody is, and what they're doing, especially when you're stacking up, and these guys, they've got some moves. They're really good, but also firing full automatic. No, you don't do that. But that's because these guys are just half-ass trained. So they have some skill.
He recruits them as they go, like with the kid. Zero experience.
That's the other thing too.
But he needs
so you got guys that are doing things. Yeah, friendly fire is not very friendly. That's right.
You've been there, Gerry.
So this guy, once again, he's one of my favorite characters in the film. That dude. Just watching him and his reaction to everything is kind of cool. And he gets pissed off when he sees that poster with the bullets through the face and the eyes. And then you find out later why he feels that way. Because nothing is really revealed to you. It's slowly, like a flower opening. It slowly reveals as it goes.
You're like the kid. You don't know anything because they don't tell him anything.
Well, tameless horse is another turn of phrase used for green guys. But also, I want to tell you, these guys moving down alleyways and shit just fucking drove me up a wall. The way they're walking right down the middle. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I remember one time being told, hug that wall, become one with that wall.
Become one with that wall, baby. That's right.
No such thing with these guys.
That and stop fingering that trigger like it's your fucking 16-year-old girlfriend.
Right.
Oh, God.
I'm like, I said, I didn't have a girlfriend when I was 16.
What? What's wrong with you, Gary? Come on.
But you got a kid at 18. So.
When I was 16, I avoided girls.
What?
And then you recouped the last time.
But then I lost my mind, and when I was 17, and I don't even want to talk. I wish I'd
never found
back and kick myself in the ass from when I was 17. Stop it, like a monkey out of a cage.
I wonder why it's doing that. That's weird.
Doing what? Turning blue?
It's filling up the whole thing instead of what I bordered out. It's very weird.
Yeah, your border. Are you turning your border off?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm learning this program as I go, Gary. I really don't. So, when I was doing the black, go back and watch the stream. When I was doing the black, it was working just fine. Now that I've switched to another layer, all of a sudden it's filling up the whole damn screen.
I think everybody is really curious about what do you mean by doing the black?
Oh my God.
Oh, inking.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, Penny.
Phrasing. I get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Penny. Hi, Andy. Good morning. Or for Andy, good morrow.
Good morrow.
Exactly. There you
go. Okay.
Yeah, right. I knew this guy when I was in fake college. I did not like him. That's why I stole his
fake college. I love it when you say that.
I stole his college girlfriend from him. I did. Because he was out on a date with a 16-year-old girl. And I'm like, you're a fucking scumbag. I did not like that guy. And I'm glad I took his girlfriend from him.
So what Gary's saying is he was down with OPP.
Yeah, with OPP. Yeah,
but obviously not when he was 16.
Now, when I was 16, I was pretty much a good altar boy. Good Catholic kid. Wanted to be a Catholic priest.
That didn't last long.
Girls.
It lasted from 14 to 17. And the minute I turned 17, I went to a party from McDonald's when I worked at McDonald's, and I went to a friend's party and I got laid, and I was like, I like it.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. And
so it was like live saying together, Gerry, meet your hormones.
So again, the trivia is wrong on this. Netflix did not produce this film. They bought the film. The version, yes, the version that's on Netflix is 15 minutes longer and is not the same film that was shown at the film festivals in 19. So if you do watch it, the Netflix version, the version I have, it is longer than the original release version that went to the film festival circuit. I'm not going to get into continuity issues with the film because I think that if you focus too much on that, you miss the story. That's why I used to kind of chew my dad out when he would get hyper focused on continuity.
Mm-hmm.
And because like that's where the OCD comes from. My daughter and I were just having a talk about it yesterday, being OCD, and it's like, yeah, OCD, we're on the spectrum. Yeah, it's true. And but my dad, boy, you know, he almost ruined the film, the Clint Eastwood film Josie Wales, because he, in the middle of the film, he started bitching about the changing of the position of the sun throughout that final fight, and I'm like, oh my God, shut the fuck up! I want to watch the movie.
Right.
And I thought that was funny because he did the same thing with me when I was bitching about Outland with Sean Connery in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they shot the entire film, the battle scenes in, I think, 43 days, some shit like that. And the film is also the directorial debut of Matthew Michael Carnahan, the director of the film. He also wrote the film. And of course, again, he wrote movies like The Kingdom, 21 Bridges. He's a very good writer. I'm sure that the script for Lions for Lambs was better than the movie, because I think he does a fine job of writing soldiers. I don't know if he ever served a day in his life, but he seems to understand soldiers. And it is based on a New Yorker article, and it's a long article. I shared it with Anima if she wanted to read it, because she's a voracious reader, so I thought it might be something she'd like to read. And it should have been it should have been a short book, part of maybe an anthology of short stories, but it's long enough to be a really good length short story, the article. And it goes into a lot of detail, and it inspired this film. So the basic story of what's happening here is based on the true events, but what he decided to do is fictionalize the characters, so you could have the perfect archetypes in their roles and have that backstory that they were looking for. There is no real plot in this film. It's just a story, which is what I like. There's no major plot twists, because it's a premise. It's not a plot. There's a story. And like I've always said, you can have a story without a plot, but you can't have a plot without a story. And plot is a device. And what I like about this is this story just unfolds as you go. And it's just, I consider it to be good storytelling. And this is oh my God, when they get into that first firefight, and the gunner fucking gets smoked. He's like laughing and joking like moments before with eating whatever the fuck that turd looked, with a date with the candy bar. I like that scene too. With they're taking their dad, and so they're like, that little boy can come with us. He's not helping you. We need to find him a family.
And the brother insists on staying. It's hard.
And the older brother's committed to what he's doing. And it's like, the odds are you're never going to see that kid ever again. That kid's probably going to die doing what he's doing, or get pulled into Daesh.
All right, Gare. It's time for me to go get Mama Rivers. So,
all righty. Have a good one,
you
buddy.
guys be good. Enjoy the rest of the talk about Mosul, and I will see you guys at 4:00 this afternoon on That 70s Rock Fans channel.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys be good. I'll see you next time.
Bye, Joe.
Peace.
Bye, Joe.
Yeah.
What was that?
What was what?
The sound that you made before leaving.
I think he said peace.
Ah.
See, it sounds like you and he both said piss.
Probably. Or like you want to say, like me to say probably, which I don't say.
Probably.
Yes, I just
You
said
do
it
in
to
Gary's
to
head.
make you happy. What?
In Gary's head, you say that. You know, he hears things that nobody says. Because he's weird.
Yeah, it's true. I think I really like this hat too, honey.
There you go.
So, and the film was shot, I do believe, in Morocco. I think someone was talking about it in the chat.
Hey, we have Glenn in the chat.
It was shot in Casablanca, in fact. Hello, Glenn. Long time no see, buddy.
Hi, Glenn.
Martha Fockers.
Leave Martha out of it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. No.
Really?
Oh God.
He's using all his dad jokes that he couldn't use yesterday. The surplus dad jokes.
Can't let them go bad, I guess.
Yeah, and this is something that Kawa has a trouble with, and that's the kid's name. He does not like the fact that they're just giving money, bribing these people and shit. Because he's a cop.
And they're bribing state police. So
And the other thing is, he doesn't know why they are giving bribes. Because they shouldn't. They are all police. What is happening here is what is on his mind.
They need to stay invisible. But they don't tell him
but
why.
He doesn't know. Because they are telling him injection.
Because as you discover through the film, they were sent on a mission, which was a bullshit mission that took them far away from where the fight was. And from that day forward, they no longer took calls from command. They went on missions that they picked. Yeah. They picked the missions. I'm so grateful that my daughter stopped doing dad jokes with me. So I don't get them anymore. She was so cute though. She like came home from being out with her friends and immediately wanted to be the first to wish me a happy Father's Day. And she wishes me a happy Mother's Day because I was both mom and dad. This lady looks like she wants to take care of that boy. The husband doesn't. And they give him money. And then after they give him the money and he looks at her, gets her confirmation, then he looks at the dad and he says, "We will be back. He better be well cared for, and you best not have traded him off or sold him."
No, he says, "If you give him over to the Red Cross, I will know. So don't do that."
I don't think it was Red Cross, he said.
Yes.
It was the red something. Not Red Cross.
It wasn't Red Cross.
Yeah, the Red Cross equivalent.
Red something.
I don't know if it was the equivalent. I'm not sure what he meant by that. I thought that meant sell him off or trade him.
Red Crescent, I think.
This is great too, right here, because he begins threatening this guy. He says, "I'm sure you've heard all the stories of SWAT. They're all true." And then he takes his name tag off his uniform. He says, "If I find out that somebody has heard that we're here, I will know it was you." And that's it, Red Crescent. That was it.
Yeah, that's part of the Red Cross.
I don't know.
I just Googled it. I Googled it. It is. They're just not using the cross because they're not Christian.
Yeah. There's this comment from Gambit. Boss, I don't know if you wanted to bring it up because YouTube. Gambit, you're okay. The problem is YouTube with that
don't bring
name.
that up.
Okay, but we
Yeah,
would.
I don't want to talk about that because that's
Okay.
getting into dangerous territory. For okay, here it is. This is where he's eating that candy bar. We're getting close to when he gets smoked.
Oh, I like how
And
the leader asked, did you share with the others? No. Did
I ate
you
the
eat it
whole
all? I
thing.
had them. You shouldn't have shared with your
Hungry.
brothers.
I was hungry. Ate the whole bar himself, or whatever the fuck it was.
Now, this guy, he spent their
Yeah, but I
entire
don't like
movie.
using that word at all because I'm a fan of the show and the comic. I also love Archer, and that group ruined it, Brian, ruined that name. And I prefer saying either Daesh or ISIL because I will not dirty that fucking name.
I have female friends with that name. It's bullshit.
It's such a pretty
And
name.
I feel Daesh is the best thing to call him. Yeah, I like that. I liked who I was. There's this sense of longing that you see in that scene. And it's terrible, by the way, Gambit, that happened. It's just terrible. I'm fine with that one too, ISIL. Calling it the other thing ruins something wonderful. The way he looks at him here, I love it. And this is the funny thing, and Anima got so frustrated with this that they're not telling him anything. Well, yeah, I know.
Well, he gets
No,
frustrated too.
Well, they are telling him enough. They are telling him, shut up, and I don't trust you.
And
those are the two things.
by the way,
tell him.
This is an important statement that he makes there. My brother felt he had to watch these videos. And I think a lot of us felt the need to have to watch this to witness what they did to people. And Anima was under the misconception that they just chopped heads off. And I'm like, no, that's not what they did.
They
It
saw.
is not what they did. They sawed them off. And it's horrifying. And it's something that I don't recommend other people watch unless you've got the stomach for it. I mean, you need to have the grit to fucking handle stuff like that.
And I don't. I can in movies.
No, I would never let you watch something like that.
I would never do that.
But know your enemy. And the only way to know them, watch what they do.
Yes, Gambit, we did cover that. The Maltese Falcon.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. John Huston film. What's that guy's name? Humphrey Bogart?
Yeah. Unknown actor.
And
Only known
that
to
little snivelly German actor, Peter Lorre.
Snivelly.
You have ruined me, Gerry. I cannot hear the word German without thinking German.
German.
Yeah, right.
Blame Steve Martin. Steve Martin stuck that in my head. It's never leaving. It lives rent free in my head. It's the German. It's Zimmerman. Ethel Merman. This is where it really starts to shift gears. And you see these people fleeing that part of the city. And oh boy.
They are getting shot. And they explain to Kara they're shooting the civilians because they run away. They want to use them as human shields. Yeah.
Yeah, they're punishing them. for leaving.
It's just so fucked up.
And they're sitting up there in a sniper's nest, fucking shooting them as they're trying to get out of there. It's the merman. It also has one of my favorite slaps used in a film when Bogart slaps Laurie. He says, "You're gonna take it. You're gonna like it."
I have that clip.
I love that fucking moment.
Oh, but I have to go to another. Let me jump a moment just to run that clip because I freaking love it.
When you're slapped, you'll take it and like it.
Tell you.
The movie Ambush, haven't covered it, but I've seen it. It's a good film. It's also based on a true story. We should probably cover it. Have you seen it? I'm assuming you've seen it, Alpha. I think it's a solid film. Gambit, thank you for putting the parenthetical year in there.
He always does.
I know, it's just funny that
he's Captain Obvious.
You can say a movie title without giving the year every single time. It's just funny to put the parenthetical date in there. It's an
don't listen to these heathens.
UAE special forces in Yemen fighting the Houthis. Unfortunately, the only version I found was badly dubbed rather than subtitled. The version I have, it seems like it's mixed language. I don't think it was dubbed, the one I have, because I think mine has subtitles. I'll go look, Alpha. I'll let you know. God, that is such a shitty stock on that fucking AK-47. Man, he is. You know you're fucking thirsty out there.
Yeah, but
People
then leader
understand
they
all that dust,
they drink whenever they can.
all the dust mixed with the heat.
Yeah.
Really just takes the moisture out of you, man. Hi, Vickman's girl. Fun. I hope it was a fun appointment, not a appointment. Let me go here and make sure. Yeah, okay, I read that one.
Badger.
Yeah,
Damn.
By the way, you have not seen The Last Temptation. You know, you've got to see that movie because there's nothing like fucking Harvey Keitel as Judas with that Brooklyn accent in a Bible story, and Defoe as Jesus. I was just like, I was so taken out of that movie watching it because of all the fucking accents in it.
Well,
clearly
you will always
from Jerusalem.
you will always have John Wayne as the Roman.
Yes, this man truly was the Son of God. That's his line. Sahara is totally the place where you dehydrate and get sweaty. Paperwork, gotcha. You can dehydrate so fast in open desert. Yeah. Well, the crazy part about this is, in having been there, and not to mention I grew up in the desert. Phoenix is a lot like that, where you could be freezing to death at night and be dying of heat and dehydration by 10 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy living in a desert. And Riyadh's like that, where there's just very little cloud coverage. So nothing to hold down the warmth at night, so that it dissipates into the air and you can wake up with frost on the ground first thing in the morning. Crazy fucking world. I'm going to tell you something, buddy. I have never seen that one, Alpha, and I don't plan to ever watch that one. I'm a big fan of the Duke, and he didn't like that film either. And later, they've connected each one of the major cast and crew that would die later, all of them dying of different forms of cancer.
Hey,
Zach.
look who's here.
Yeah, I saw
Hi, Zach.
my buddy Zach's.
So,
He was running from something, sir. And then he crashed into a DUI checkpoint, committed 10 felonies, and not to mention FUing a room full of cops.
You FU me all the time.
Fuck you, Kyle!
That's my
only
favorite.
movie with Aquafina in it that didn't annoy me. Because that's her character. And it works. And I cannot believe how much I love that fucking movie because I can't stand her. Yeah, Phoenix Man is a lot like that, which is why when they shot the movie, The Kingdom, just shoot in fucking Phoenix proper. That's what it's like in the Middle East. I wrote, I don't want to tell too much about this because it's something I still hope to finish one day with Dale Dye and Julia Dye. It's I forget the name of it. Oh my God, what was the name of that? I just know the story, which is when it's a fictionalized telling of the Templar Knights that came to America to hide some of its treasure, biblical treasure. And they were looking for the New Jerusalem. And I wrote the story outline, showed it to Dale and Julian, and they're like, this is really good. And I went, yeah, I know. But the Technicolor, what are we talking about here?
I don't know.
Well, Southern California in particular, yeah, it's goddamn, man, it gets hot there. Southern Cal, Arizona, parts of New Mexico. She really is. Absolutely. Except for in that one movie where her personality and voice worked. Do you know that there's a place in the United States that is a desert for half the year and a swamp the other half?
Somewhere in the south?
It's the Tracy-Pittsburgh area of California where they grow all the rice. And half of the year it's a desert and half of the year it's a swamp.
That sounds unpleasant.
I've been there. I didn't like it. Yeah, there you go. Good political joke there, Matt. So I paused this because I forgot I wanted to talk about this. This guy gets smoked, and when he reaches down to touch the guy scares the shit out of him because he's still not quite dead. And he goes to end him, and his commanding officer says, no, let him die the way he's dying. Let him suffer. Because he wants to take a selfie with the dead body.
Yes, because that was the tradition of the gunner that was shot in the first fight.
Yep.
That was the fun of the gunner, and he takes picture of all the guys they smoke to keep a tally and remember why they're doing what they're doing.
I have a character. He's a religious character, but he is an assassin. And because of his religious beliefs, he tattoos the name of every person he's ever killed on his body so that when he is confronted in the end, that every name is there so he can be forgiven for every name. of a person that he killed. That's the same. Yeah, that's the same holster that John wears. And by the way, to my knowledge, Alpha, this is the first introduction of drone warfare. Was shot back in 2018, 2019, and it shows drone being used as a weapon. And it's something that I predicted all the way back in 2012 when I wrote the first scene in Vindicated, where he's trying to figure out how to have a lightweight drone be able to fire rounds in defense. In other words, suppression fire or whatever, what have you. And it leads to a funny moment where, firing a weapon causes the drone to flip and crash. Finally, he realizes he can use pneumatics. And so that's what he does. He uses a pneumatic weapon, creates a pneumatic weapon using an M4 frame, body frame. But where the gas port is, it uses pneumatics to fire rounds, caseless rounds. I like District 13. I have not seen any of the French Taxi films, but I hear they're full of action. Of course, they're produced by what's his name, that did The Professional and all that. But I like
Luc Besson.
Film. Luc Besson. Anima finally watched the first Transporter film all the way through. She ended up enjoying herself, even though you have to check your logic center off.
We talked about it on the show, so I had to watch it.
Yeah.
That's how you make me watch stuff.
Yes, To Paris with Love is a film I want to do. I like that movie. That scene with the two girls at the table is one of the most intense scenes. And Travolta does a fucking good job in that film. I think it's the last really good film he did, To Paris with Love. Man, nobody can sport a unibrow like that, dude. Yeah, this is a scene where the drone goes over their head and they're aiming up in the air. Yeah, those are science fiction drones, but yeah. Go ahead. You can make your point, Alpha.
It seems to be pretty new to them to be confronted with drones. They don't really know what to do.
They look down and they discover, oh shit, it destroyed our other Humvee. They keep running out of Humvees. Yep. They're running out of Humvees. It's like, I'll tell you another film, and some of the same team worked on it as Paris with Love, is the Kevin Costner film Time to Kill. I think that was it. Is that the name of it?
No idea. I'm sorry.
What was the question?
I don't think I had a question. Did I? I like this scene. DHL delivers everywhere.
Yeah. That shows you how makeshift of a troop that is. They are using whatever they can get their hands on.
Yep. And yet they leave a bag of money in the middle of the road.
Why keep it when it doesn't buy you anything?
It could buy you bribes. It could be used for bribes, buying stuff, food, what have you.
I don't think there's people selling food anywhere there.
I'm not saying looking for people selling food. You just buy it from people.
No, what I'm saying is if you have food, you keep it for yourself. You don't give it away, not even for money.
Well, I got bad news for you. You don't keep food. You eat food, and then you run out. I'm not sure if you're understanding what I'm saying is when you're running low on food, it's nice to have something that you can trade and barter with in order to get more food. Let's see. Criminal, was that it? Was it Criminal? Nope, that's not it. I do like that movie though, Criminal. That's a good movie. But it seems like it was right around the same time, but I'm not seeing it here.
I don't remember using drones in Act of Valor.
I don't either. Doesn't mean they didn't.
I like that movie. It's what I call the Call of Duty movie.
There it is. I found the movie. 3 Days to Kill.
Oh, is that with
It's written by Luc Besson, directed by McGee, and I actually liked that movie.
Yes. Kevin Costner, right?
Yeah. That was the film I was talking about a few minutes ago. I have considered doing Runaway for a while. I do like the film. It's not great, but I do like the film. It's the other Blade Runner.
The Edge Jogger.
And again, with the year.
Don't listen to these heathens. Keep using the year.
I would have to go back. By the way, I watched a former active duty Navy SEAL talk about that movie. And he says there's a lot of cool shit in that movie we didn't do. None of that. There's we didn't do that stuff. He says like the scene where the guy's hands come up out of the water. He says you never know exactly quite where that body's going to go when you hit it. When you drop that guy, the shot to the head. He could crumple straight down, fall sideways, fall to his knees and go forward. No guarantee he's going to fall backwards right into your hand. Sexy scene, but no, it doesn't work that way. I still like that movie. You like what book better? What's this? What book are you talking about, Vinkman's Girl? Yeah, Time to Kill was Sam Jackson. Yeah, killed him. I'll do it again. That's that movie. I shared a picture of Sam Jackson when he was 21 years old on our group page there on Facebook, the Pop Culture Minefield group. And I said, this photo was taken around the time that he held Martin Luther King Sr. and other members of the board of the college he was attending hostage in order to get Black studies put into their school.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't know that he did that.
No, I didn't.
Sam Jackson was a militant when he was in college.
Holy shit.
And I don't think that's cool. I don't think that's cool at all.
It's not.
And I had people liking it and loving it. And I'm like, What are you liking and loving that for? I'm talking about something he fucking did that I think he's tried to sweep under the fucking rug. That he partook in a militant action on a college campus, holding the board of trustees hostage. That's not fucking cool. This scene, what I love about this scene is they're fighting. And the fight, the wind gets taken out of their cell over their fight when Kawa pulls out his fucking tomahawk and drives it home on the cop that he used to serve with. Drills him in the head twice.
Yeah, well, he betrayed them.
And that's the way he sees it. You know,
And he had a
I don't
reason,
care
because they
why
threatened
you
his
I don't
family,
care
which is
why
sad.
you did it. You did it.
You did
And-
it, yeah.
And the minute he does that in this scene, the fight ends. It's no more arguing. Okay, yeah, we'll take $1 for, one, case for $1, and the guy goes, here's a hookah pipe. I want an RPG. One RPG. One hookah, one RPG. You get one. That's all you get. But you can see right now, he is just, he's changing as a person. And I think all of this takes place in one day because they don't show them ever sleep.
One day, yeah. And I think this is when the commander begins to tell him, and he shuts him down and says, tell me what I need to know, when I need to know. I don't need anything else.
Which
Tell me
is
what to do and I will do it.
such a shift because remember earlier he wanted, you need to tell me things. I want to know what's going
Yeah.
on. I don't care.
He's
Just tell me what to do and when to do it. That's all I care about. And
He probably hasn't killed many people when he bashes his former partner's head in.
Yeah, not with a hatchet.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a tomahawk.
Yeah.
That he uses. Which is what John uses in the book too.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
In fact, I decided not to show what he does to those two guys. I think that your imagination is better to know what he did to those two guys, the bikers, who were getting ready to abuse two little girls. All you see is him go into the room where they're laughing, and he shuts the door behind him. And right when he's going through the door, they're like, "Hey!" And then you start hearing them screaming, and all you see in his hand is his fucking tomahawk. Well, what's funny is that the modern tomahawk was made famous by that group I was talking about over in Iraq from 2nd Division and 72nd Striker Brigade, because they were called the Tomahawks. They had the Indian chief patch star, and they all carried the tomahawks as this. It was really a pride thing with them. And I know you know who I'm talking about. Oh, okay, gotcha. I have to check on that. Runaway was one of the short stories from iRobot. And a lot of people don't know there are two iRobots in literature. I also like another thing in 11 Alpha, I'm sure you'll agree with me, is I think this film does a really good job of depicting fog of war, because these guys aren't highly skilled in what they're doing. And it leads to this moment coming up where he gets fragged by his own guy, Kawa does. He gets hit in his cheek by shrapnel, and the other dude shoots his buddy in the back, back of the fucking neck. Guy walks right into his line of fire. And again, if you've not seen this movie, if you like a really good war film, this is a good film to watch. By the way, that's the exact same body armor issue that John wears in the first book. As the story progresses, his armor changes in the books. I can't believe how well they did on the destroyed city set. Just incredible, realistic. This isn't like your typical. I never quite understood, by the way, 11 Alpha, how did you read this kid? Because he's sitting right on top of a cable, and I'm like, is that cable for a booby trap? I was not sure what
That's
the fuck
what I
that
thought
was.
at first, but then he gets up and runs away.
Nothing happens. And he gets up, and I'm like, is he a spotter? I could not understand what this fucking kid was. Because now they're on foot and walking right down the middle. Good trigger discipline. Somebody's left-handed.
Yes. They asked him when they recruited him, and he said he's left-handed.
Yeah, so make sure you get your face out of the way of the those rounds come out. By the way,
There's
just
no fun in that.
Piece of shit weapon. I've fired them. Don't like them.
Why?
I fired the AKs and I fired SKS, and I consider them both pieces of shit.
Why?
They have
They
no
act
precision.
like they can fire everywhere. Like, fuck you. They do jam, and they're loose as shit. They suffer damage, and you got to replace parts constantly. Yeah, it's no, thank you.
God, look at them going right down the middle.
Here you go. High, low, left, right.
Drove
cover.
me nuts as well.
And like I said, we were constantly told, like, hug that wall, become one with that wall. Best way to avoid being shot, don't walk down the fucking middle. What was it Mr. Miyagi said? Croatian made, yeah. A lot of the shit you find in the Middle East, and especially in Afghanistan, fucking made there. They produce their own fucking AKs there. Are they tighter? Because a lot of people don't know. There's a lot of differences between stamped metal and what's the other word? I forgot the other word for making your own weapons. There's stamped parts, and then there's machine parts. That's where I was trying to think of, machine parts. I love the way he is saving this fucking RPG. And then it can work. Let's go down the middle of it. Yeah, let's walk down the middle.
Taking covers for pussies.
Yeah. And again, I want the theme song whenever I see or hear the name SWAT.
Yeah, it just goes on in my head.
Yeah, this is when they find the 2 wounds on him. And this is one of those moments where you're going to put the bandages over. Some might go under, you push it up into the wound, and then you're going to wrap around the clothing because there's no time to do a proper field dressing.
There's no time to undress the guy and then put the vest back on him.
Oh, I was trying to read that. Sorry. They're machined and made to Western tolerance. They're heavier than the standard Soviet stamped version. And that's the ones I can't stand, the stamped ones. But that just means they are more solid and reliable. Very cool. I'm going to have to check that out, dude. I've got a buddy who's I almost said arms dealer. He's a gunsmith. And he could probably get one for testing. I'll call him. No, I read it. You heard me read it. I read it correctly, Alpha. I knew what you meant. I read typo. Anima will tell you.
Yeah. But I still correct myself when I have a typo because I have to.
I don't know why, but this scene right here reminds me of a section of one of the maps on Call of Duty. And I love that map. It's one of the toughest maps. It's so easy to get killed on that fucking map.
Are you even still playing?
No, I haven't played in a while.
I mean, right now you don't have time, but
All literate human beings hate typos. We all do. We're self-conscious about it because we automatically think, oh, they think I misspelled that. It's just our natural reaction to it. I'm smarter than that. They think I'm a fucking idiot now. So they're up there on that roof and he's going to fucking take that shot with that RPG, hit that fucking... They're just loading up out in the open. They don't care. It's so brazen. He takes that fucking RPG, aims down there, fires and sizzles through the air, hits the fucking truck and doesn't explode. And he only had one for that trade. I do appreciate one thing for certain in this. They check their corners.
they do know some things.
When you're trained to clear a room, you check your fucking corners.
Oh God, they have to teach the kid how to breach a room. He doesn't even know that. That's how.
Yeah, how to clear a room. He learns to clear pretty quickly. But each person in that stack has a job and a position to go to. Yeah, he smokes that dude. And I fucking hate that scene where his friend is dying, digging his fingers into the earth.
It's rough.
Well, it's hard to tell because I forget how that RPG works. I know that, like, we were trained on the law and a few other ones, and the minute they leave, you have so many seconds once it disconnects that it arms, and that way it doesn't like explode going right out of the fucking gun. It has to take a second to arm. But our targets were pretty far down range with those things. RPG, I've never fired an RPG, and I don't know how they arm. It has to rotate 15 times on its axis before it arms. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. I could look it up, but I don't feel like looking it up right now. I'm enjoying watching the slideshow.
And we just watched the movie yesterday, but it's that.
I've watched it. Actually, I watched it twice before you and I watched it. So I've actually seen it 3 times in 1 week.
Yeah, well,
because I really do like this show. I like this show. I like this fucking movie. I like the characters. I think it's a great little story.
It is.
You have interesting characters.
And the reveal, oh my God, when you finally find out what their mission is.
Yeah, when he learns what their mission is, I like how he just is all in.
He's all in, and he's deeply regretting what he said about if he had a wife, he wouldn't be there.
They made a close up of his face, and you think he's maybe about to lose his shit to go. So this is the mission, but no, he's full in, but you don't know it until he says it, and in the way he says it.
And he asks a question too. He asks the other soldier, you know, how far is your son? because you find out this is a personal mission to
Yes.
rescue the wife and daughter of the unibrow guy.
Unibrow guy.
I like
Yeah,
that.
he's a unibrow.
I like how he doesn't say, let's go do it. He just asks, what is your son? That's it. That's all. That's good dialogue, right?
Yeah.
It is akin like that questioning where he say, what's the girl, a blonde?
By the way, we talked about Ned
Yeah.
Beatty earlier. My favorite film with him is this little movie, made for TV movie, called The Deadly Tower, about the Texas clock tower shooting at the Texas. Is it Texas A&U? It's one of the universities in Texas, and where Whitman sat up on that tower shooting people, sniping them.
Haven't we watched it?
And it's Kurt Russell plays Whitman in it, and Ned Beatty plays a guy who gets deputized to help take him down, get up in that tower and in this guy's life, stop him. Good movie, full of fiction. Like its depiction of the police officer, the Mexican police officer that saved the day. His wife pissed him off because he was married to, I do believe she was Dutch, blonde, and they give him a pregnant Mexican wife in the movie, and it pissed him off. He was, that insults my fucking wife. I didn't, I married the woman I fell in love with. I don't give a shit about a race. And they had him say things that he didn't say. There was a lawsuit over it, that movie.
How did that go?
Yep. And I was just reading about another incident where something like that happened, where they couldn't figure out at first what was going on with this guy, and then they realized, oh my God, he's got a fucking RPG in him. That never fucking went off because it didn't have time to charge its explosive. And in that story, the guy survived. But yeah, the dude in Mogadishu, he was FUBAR. Yeah, that's a tough film to watch, but I own it, and I will pop it in every once in a while.
Which one? Black Hawk Down?
Yeah.
That is tough. UT Austin, is that a university? Where the tower shooting took place? 11 Alpha says UT Austin. Is that the university?
Is that it? Yeah, that's it.
I guess.
And what's interesting is the town would not allow them to shoot the film there because it was still too recent in people's memories. So what they ended up doing was shooting it in Louisiana. because they had a similar clock tower. All right.
I can understand why they didn't allow it. If it's still
This is it.
fresh.
And by the way, we haven't talked about the commanding officer getting killed. He gets killed because he's angry and cleaning up, because you see him do it, them do it earlier, cleaning up the crap left by these fucking assholes in ISIL. And so he's cleaning up the porn magazines and putting them in an egg crate. And then he makes one of the biggest mistakes. You never fucking move anything.
Yeah.
And he lifted it, and it's a fucking booby trapped egg crate, and it explodes, and it kills him. There's no death scene.
I knew that was going to happen. The second time they make him pick leader, I said this guy is eventually to trigger an IED. Because that
now the team is commanderless, and they're still moving forward with their mission. And you don't know what it is all the way up to this fucking door. We've been waiting for this moment, and he's pulling out the key, and his hand is shaking so much he can't put the key in. And they're like, "You let someone else." He goes, "No, I've got this." And he puts the key in, opens the door, and immediately smokes this dude standing up next to his bed in his underwear. Fucking just smokes him, deader than shit. And then you find out what's really going on is they're there to rescue his wife and daughter.
And you also find out that the captain, who is now dead, had a family, and Daesh got hands on them. And that is why he went rogue and on that mission instead of the mission they were assigned to, because it was a bullshit mission anyway.
As he said, hundreds of miles from where the fight was, he got so angry with where they got sent. It's an emotional scene. And now the kid understands.
Yep. Now he understands why he got so angry when he said he wouldn't be there if he had a wife. And I mean, there were 12 people to begin with, and now they're down to 6. It took 6 people to save 2 lives. It's brutal. There's a question, Gerry.
What's that?
11 Alpha is asking, any idea if Iraqi police actually use Glocks?
My assumption was they traditionally use Berettas, but by this time they could have been using Glocks. I don't know. I know that what they typically carried back in the day was, I remember even seeing one Iraqi police officer from Mosul carrying a Star pistol from Italy. It's a piece of shit. But by the time this story, which is taking place, I think in 2017, I don't know.
How would you find that out? Can you just Google shit like that?
Yeah.
And she's not happy about her husband going off on the next mission. But of course,
As they
he has
say,
to.
tough fucking shit.
Yeah, and I've said it before. I'm glad you're too old now because I couldn't be a military wife. I'd lose my shit if you were deployed. Yeah, they're running out of time because last info they had on the son is a week old. So at this point, they're just hoping he's still alive. No time to waste.
And there's the kid pondering all that has happened and all that is happening.
I think at this point, he's not a kid anymore. He's grown up now. He's also realizing it's not like you have a family, so you stay away from the fight. You have to fight because you have a family.
Yep.
Fight for them.
Well, that's pretty much true for warriors in general anyway. It's like you heard it the other day in that one film. He says, or in that one commercial, I fight for those who are behind me.
What commercial?
Did I look? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just had some weird shit happen with my computer. Anyway, the new DoD promotion.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
For recruitment.
That's pretty impressive, by the way.
What
No
is?
wonder numbers go up. That commercial. I'm not surprised numbers are going up after releasing that.
Well, it's a patriotism thing. It's a pride thing. If you build it, they will come. Yeah, I don't like that. It's screwed up there.
Is this where he saves the girls?
Yeah, he's already in there with them.
Because he says, "I'll be right back," and I think the older girl is saying, "Don't leave us here."
That's on the previous page.
Yeah. Ah, 11 Alpha found the answer. Wikipedia cites Jane's Infantry Weapons 2009-2010, saying Iraq purchased 125,163 Glocks. So that answers that. Thank you for finding that out, Alpha. He also asks, did you get to watch the parade on Saturday?
Yes, I did.
Dude, about that parade. Oh, man.
What about it?
This is why I don't believe shit. I saw articles out here in Mexico. Trump celebrates his birthday with a military parade. That's my wife. These motherfuckers. Yes, there was a military parade because it was the Army's day. What the fuck?
They use whatever to hate on Trump.
Jeez, man.
The amount ridiculous.
Ah,
They're pretty good about spreading bullshit here. Anti-Trump bullshit. I don't like the guy, but come on.
so they ask, and then they go, "Oh, why nobody wants to believe the media?" I wonder why, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Apple pie, motherfucker.
What?
Have a
With
pie.
a side of fries, motherfucker.
Weirdo.
I'm willing. Pie
This
and
is
fries.
from
Come on.
this is from a famous meme.
Okay. I don't know it, so there's that.
It's from a little show called Dexter. No, not the one with the kid with the lab.
Yeah, the one that I never liked. I never thought that it was a good idea. Show like that.
Why? What's the problem with it?
Oh, because it glorifies a serial killer. That's it.
Oh,
There's this guy that
He's
he
very
works.
specific. He's a forensic blood splatter expert, and he is in secret a serial killer, but he only kills other serial killers. It's a rule that his dad taught him because he's psychotic. And he gave him rules to live by. So basically, he's Batman.
He's more like the Punisher. Batman doesn't kill.
Look, you can't hit somebody in the head or in the center of the chest and not risk killing them. Some of those fucking people died.
But not with Batman.
I had this fight
Batman.
with Chuck Dixon. I said, I'm sorry. Maybe he doesn't intend to kill, but there's always that fucking risk.
That wouldn't happen to him because he's Batman.
that's a shitty thing to do, Alpha. He says most of the media here also called it Trump's military parade and ignored the Army's
Yeah.
250th birthday party, or at least buried the lead. These people need to go fuck themselves. Get your facts right.
Oh, no. They know. They have their facts right.
They
are
know
lying.
they're doing it on purpose. They do it on purpose. They're not stupid. They're assholes. They're not stupid.
Why you can say
They're both.
purpose and I can't? Huh?
What you just said.
Mishima. No, I don't know that movie. Let me look for it.
What are you looking? What are we talking about now?
Oh,
Mishima.
1985. Yes, Mishima, Alive in 4 Chapters. A fictional account of the little Japanese, of the life of Japanese author Yukio Mishima, combining dramatization of his novel and a depiction of the events of November 25th, 1970.
What's it about? I don't understand who that is.
It's a fictional account of a Japanese writer.
That writes.
I don't know. It's a post-credit film. The film concerns a hyper-eccentric writer named Yukio Mishima. Oh, this was this the guy that was trying to bring back Bushido?
I've never heard
I
that
may
name
have
before, so
I may have seen this movie. I'm not sure because when I started watching the movie has already started, was on TV, and I never get the title of the movie. I will have to see this to see if it's the same movie that I already saw. Which is if it's the same movie, it's awesome, and I always wanted to watch it again. Yes, it must be because what you're saying here, Gambit, that fits the movie, the description of the movie that I saw. Oh, that movie's awesome.
should we do it on the channel?
I don't know if Gerry likes Japanese themes. But I don't know. Well, it wouldn't fit on Military Monday. It is more like a Wednesday movie.
I mean, we both haven't seen it, so we'd have to watch it and then decide, I guess.
Okay, and I'll take care of that. Don't you worry.
I'll make a note.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. This is the movie. Oh man, this movie's incredible. At last, I have the chance to watch it again.
I like it when you get excited about stuff, Martin.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't like the movie.
Well, yeah, happens.
No, but this is a serious movie, so you may like. Albeit it's a very dark one.
Yeah, the ones I don't like are usually the silly, funny ones because they're just
Yeah.
not
You
my
hate
type of
fun.
humor.
Yeah, you hate fun. We all know that.
No, I hate silly fun if it's too silly. And the one we have coming up this Wednesday, I'm not sure what to think about it. I watched the trailer and it doesn't seem too bad, but
Did you see it was in the Scarlet? No, it wasn't in the Scarlet Letter. There was a movie about monks with Sean Connery. They were trying to find
The
out
Name of the Rose.
some
The Name of the Rose.
yes, The Name of the Rose, in which the culprit was a cardinal, I think. Well, it wasn't a cardinal because they were monks. It was one of the top guys in the hierarchy, and he was killing people in order to, I think, was kept hidden documents that encourage happiness because it's a happiness is a sin. So he's more. You remind me of that guy. Oh,
yeah, that was F. Murray Abraham, as I recall.
You're laughing with that movie? I hate
it. I barely remember it. I remember trying to read the book, and it was so long and slow.
But
and then
Umberto
the movie came up at my
Eco.
Yeah.
Echo.
It came up on TV, and my mom watched it with me. My brothers were too little, or at least she considered them to be too little. Maybe it was too late too, but I really liked that movie. And I was already a fan of Sean Connery, so that worked.
Gambit, thank you very much for at last giving me the title of that movie. Thank you.
We'll check it out.
Maybe.
Oh, I know I will.
Martin is a fan, and his taste in movies isn't too shitty, so.
What? Did you say my taste in movie is shitty? Oh,
it's not too shitty, so it's worth checking out Mishima if you like it.
The things I have to endure in this channel. What did you say? Echo's books are dense, So once you get past the first 150 pages or so,
Well, I was 13, so a book needed to catch me sooner than after
the
150
first
pages.
250.
I remember that book is huge.
God damn.
I thought he was deeply into Japanese culture. I'm confused now.
Wait, I have one of them.
Well, anyway, if you say it's a good movie, I trust you.
What movie are we talking about still? Name of the Road?
Mishima.
Mishima.
You know, they did make a new TV series. Name of the Road.
About Name of the Road?
Really?
There's a mini-series adaptation.
Is it good?
I remember being disappointed with it, and I can't remember why.
Because you're Gerry and you're easily disappointed. Is Name of the Road or The Name of the Road? I can't find it.
Yeah, I remember Turturro's in it.
I can't find it. Not with that name. I will look then.
I'll send you the Wikipedia page. I'll put it in the public chat. If you guys are interested, you can check information on it out. This is it.
Oh my. Holy shit, I forgot it's that old.
Oh.
Seems like it's older than that. Yeah, 1980. Because I know that Benjamin was a baby when Lori bought it.
Oh man, language barrier. Name of the Rose. I was looking for Road. R-O-A-D.
What? No, it's Name of the Rose.
I know. I have the freaking movie.
You're not Englishing today. Again.
Nah. As I said, I have my boomer booster on. Miniseries about. That sounds interesting. The movie was good enough. I haven't read the book, so I wouldn't know what was kept out of the movie.
A lot of fucking Latin.
Okay. I guess that made it even better.
Yes.
That's why Lori got it, because it had real Latin in it. She was just losing her fucking mind over excitement over that book. And I read the book and I'm like, yeah. Well, you don't like it because you spoke crappy Catholic Latin. I'm like, I also don't like it because it's fucking long-winded.
The book, yeah. Well, we are at 2 hours. Let's get out of
drawing,
here.
so I'm not paying attention. Yeah, if it's time to go, let's go.
That's why I'm telling you.
Oh my God. Come on, boss. Show your face to say goodbye.
I'm right in the middle.
Show
of
your
inking
face.
something. I'm inking. I can't really switch over. I'm like really right in the middle of this. But thanks for coming here, guys. I want to thank Emmanuel was first in the house today. And Snorty, Christian DeLorme dropped in. I didn't see that. Gambit
Yeah, I told you.
1987, 11 Alpha, Penny, Andy Morrow, Vinkman's Girl. Thanks all for hanging out in the chat today. And of course, I want to thank my good buddy Mephisto for dropping in and let us knowing he's okay. Please, folks, keep positive thoughts and even say your prayers for our dear friend because he's right there in the thick of it over in Israel. So him and his family. So please stay well, Meph. A lot of love from us for you.
Stay safe, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's sending this? You or I?
I'll do it. I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
So everybody have a good day today. I've got a doctor's appointment shortly. Plus, I have to call Don Ecker to check in on him, see how he's doing. So we will talk to you guys later. Have a great one. Chief will be back tomorrow with another cool movie. What's the movie?
The Way of the Gun.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That's the one with Denzel Washington.
Benicio del Toro. And I forgot the name of the other guy, but I don't think Denzel is there.
Well, I'm thinking of another film then, because there's an action film with guns in the title with Denzel. Anyway, everybody have a good one. See you on Wednesday. Everybody take care. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.